In this guitar lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Tonight I'll Be Staying Here With You by Bob Dylan. We'll be following the version from the Nashville Skyline album. Now, I'll start by showing you the chords to the intro and to the verse, and then I'll show you some ways that we can jazz those chords up a bit, and there are quite a few of those. But let's start with those basic chords for the intro and the verse. So for the introduction, we're going to go through a descending figure of 3 chords, C major to B minor to A minor 3 times, and then we're going to resolve to a G major like this. And then we're into the verse, and that goes like this. It starts with a G. Throw my ticket to C major out the window, back to G again. Stay on G. Throw my C major suitcase out there too, back to G. Throw my... Now for this part we're going to go C major to B minor, back to C major. Throw my troubles out the door. Then we're going to go C major to B minor to A minor. I can't use them anymore for 2. Then back to G major. Tonight I'll be C major, staying here with you. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how you can jazz that up a bit. Okay, let's look at how we can jazz those basic chords up a bit then. Now, on the Nashville Skyline version of this song, there's an electric guitar, quite a thin sounding electric guitar, like a groovy honky tonk kind of sound. And in that verse, it's playing something a bit like this. Okay, in between the lines of the singing. Throw my ticket out the window. Throw my suitcase out there too. Now, if we can build that in between our playing of the chords, it's going to sound really good. So let me demo it for you first. Throw my ticket out the window. Throw my suitcase out there too. Throw my troubles out the door, and so on. So let me break that down for you a bit next. Okay, let's look at that riff then. I'll play it for you slowly to start with. Here we go. So let's break that down. We begin with our index finger on the 6th string, 10th fret there. And we're going to play that. I'm going to play it with my thumb, the 6th string. You could obviously do this with a pick instead. And as soon as I've played it, I'm going to hammer my ring finger onto the 6th string, 12th fret. So like this. Then I'm going to move my index finger to the 5th string, 10th fret, and play that twice. The first time staccato, so I'm going to cut the note off. And then again. Then I'm going to put my ring finger back on the 6th string, 12th fret, play it, and I'm going to slide my ring finger all the way down to the 3rd fret. And when I get to that 3rd fret, I'm going to throw my left hand into a G chord, G major chord, and I'm going to play a strum down with my index finger from the 4th string down. So put that all together and we have this. Now, I like playing that up there at the 10th position because I just like the sound of the 6th string, the 5th string. And I particularly like that slide down there. But if you find that a little bit tricky, an alternative is to play it at the open position. You can do it like this, doing a pull-off instead of a slide down. And if you want to do that, you can kind of do it without moving your fingers very much at all from that G chord. So you're going to play the 4th string open, open, then hammer on to 4th string 2nd fret with your middle finger, then play the 3rd string open twice, back to the 4th string 2nd fret with your middle finger, pull your middle finger off of the 2nd fret, and then play 6th string, and then you're down the strum. So it's more convenient, but I prefer the sound of doing it up there. But obviously the choice is yours. So if you listen to the Nashville Skyline version of Tonight I'll Be Staying Here With You, it's got a really good groove, and that groove comes from the interplay between the bass guitar and the drums and the other instruments. You know, the electric guitar is very groovy as well, and there's a nice honky-tonky piano on the track too, and it's those things that really produce the groove. There's that lovely steel guitar as well, but that probably hasn't got so much to do with the groove. That's more playing over the top. So if you're just playing it on a guitar, you want to try and capture a bit of that feel if you can. So I'd suggest playing it a bit like this. I'll demo this for you first, and then I will break it down for you. So I'd go for this kind of feel. Throw my ticket out the window, throw my suitcase out there too, throw my troubles out the door, I can't use them anymore. What a night, I'll be staying here with you. And I was throwing in that little riff in places. You can do it a bit more than I did actually. Okay, let me try and break that down for you next then, show you how to do that. Okay then, so starting with that G major chord, I was playing the bass note, the root note, the 6th string, which is the G first with my thumb. Throw my, and then I was doing a downstroke with my index finger from about the 4th string down. Ticket. Okay, so throw my. Then I was moving to the C major. Now I often play a C over G like this, but whether it's actually a straight C major or a C over G depends upon the bass note you play, and I'm playing the 5th string, so although the fingers on the left hand make it look like a C over G, in fact I'm really playing a C, and I'm playing that 5th string twice with my thumb, and then I'm doing a downstroke with my index finger, and then I'm going back to the G, 6th string, downstroke, and then playing a little riff. Back to the G, C. So really what I'm doing there is playing a bass note either once or twice, and then just doing one downstroke with my index finger. And you can mix it up. So sometimes you can play the bass note once, sometimes you can play it twice. Now, if you want to do that with a plectrum, with a pick, you can. It'll work well. It'll sound slightly different. I kind of like the sound and the feel of using my fingers, particularly with this guitar, but it will work with a plectrum. So you can do the same thing. Throw my ticket out the window, throw my suitcase out there too. Now the other thing I was doing, when I was doing that little rundown figure from C to B minor, well first of all back to the C, so we're not really running down, and then from C to B minor to A minor. When I get to the 3rd of those chords, so from C to B minor to C, I'm then doing a bit of a hammer on, like that, just taking my middle finger off the 4th string, playing that 4th string open and hammering my middle finger on. Playing some of the other notes as well, and then when you get to the A minor, similar, but this time I'm taking my middle and my ring fingers off of the 4th and 3rd string respectively, hammering them on. So you get this. And that just adds to the effect as well. So you can do those kind of things to groove up the feel a bit as you're playing. I'll show you the bridge to Tonight I'll Be Staying Here With You in just a moment, but before I do that, if you've been enjoying this video, please do hit the like button, and also if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe, and then you'll be notified of the future guitar lessons that I release. Okay, let's look at the bridge next then. Now this starts with a C minor chord, so you can bar that here at the 3rd fret. Is it really any wonder? Then we go to G major, back to C minor. The love the stranger might receive, back to G major. Now next we're going to go to an A flat major. You can bar that at the 4th fret here. You cast your spell and I went under, and that is a C major. And then we're going to go to A minor. I find it difficult to. Now we're going to run down from D major, leave C major, to B minor, to A minor, stop. I can hear that whistle blowing, and then we're back into the next verse. So that's the bridge. Now there's one chord near the end which we haven't met yet, and I'm going to tell you about that chord next. Okay, there's an instrumental section of the song, and that uses the same chords as the bridge, if you're wondering about that. So same chords as the bridge for the instrumental section. Now after that there's a final verse which uses the regular chords. So that verse ends with, and tonight I'll be staying here with you. But then, right at the end of the song, he throws in a chord that isn't anywhere else in the song, which is a B flat. I think it's B flat 7th actually. 2, 3, 4, up to C7. And then to end the song, we get the same rundown that we have at the end of the bridge. D, C, B minor, A minor, and then end on G. But that B flat 7th, that's a bit cheeky. Go and play it along with the record. I think you hear it there. Right at the end, just after that final verse. And I don't think you'll find that in many of the online chord charts for this song, or the online guitar lessons. So remember that one. B flat 7 right near the end.